So leaders have to be an example in times of conflict. They need to be especially aware of how they impact others. And in the current situation where we have the holidays coming up and families getting together, and perhaps some of the family members that we have had conflict in the past, or they're so different in terms of their views or in terms of their behaviors. We have so much political divisiveness right now where we have people seems to be at polar opposites. That we've got a lot of situations that can come up that can create conflict opportunities. And in those opportunities, we have to really be mindful of the example that we're setting. Let's say, for example, that you're at work and you have an employee who's upset because they figure that the overtime has been disproportionately handed out. Maybe they haven't gotten enough, or maybe they've gotten too much, and they're really aggressive, and they're really angry, and they're really showing their emotions. You know what always works in those situations regarding that kind of conflict is a really long lecture. I mean, going on a rant and to someone that's screaming at the top of their lungs is incredibly effective, and we want to show them the error of their ways and get them to calm down. So being emotional with them and lecturing them, I mean, nobody would respond bad, and nobody would ever tune you out if you were in one of those long lectures. So make sure that when you're lecturing and when you're telling the person how they're wrong, that you repeat the same points over and over again. People love this. Now this works especially good at home if you're talking to teenagers, right? No, of course. This is not going to work. The person at the moment is not being rational. So the thing that we want to be able to do is be a good communicator. They won't process a thing that you're saying until they feel that you understand how they feel. You need to show them that you understand. Not that you agree, but that you understand. Not that you're on their side, but that you're not against them. So we need to be able to be the example, and that is in those moments when there's conflict at work or at home, with that employee who's yelling, who's screaming, who's making a scene because of an overtime issue that they may not be right about. We need to be able to be a good listener. And again, we need to be able to communicate comfort, and that says to demonstrate to them that you're not against them. Not that you agree with what they're saying, but that you're not against them, that you're on their side, that you're trying to work towards the same things that they're trying to work towards. And as an example, if they're frustrated, the question is, do you want them to be frustrated? Is it your goal when you leave for work in the morning for you to frustrate your employees? My hope is, my guess is that the answer is no. And so when you've got that employee who's frustrated and angry and acting aggressively because of an overtime issue, then at least a common goal that you have with the other individual is that you don't want them to be frustrated. And obviously they show signs of not wanting to be frustrated either. So it's all about how do we become that example. There's a good book, Decent People, Decent Company, that says when leaders have a core quality of emotional mastery, they seem to excel during times of conflict. When we talk about emotional mastery, we're talking about emotional intelligence. That's come up several times, and that'll continue to come up. But that basically says emotional intelligence, emotional mastery is I am aware of myself. I have a high level of self-awareness. I believe is important, and I'm able to act on that belief, that I'm aware of how I come across. I'm aware of my strengths. I'm aware of my weaknesses, my hot buttons, my blind spots. Another part of that emotional mastery in terms of emotional intelligence is social awareness. I am alert, aware, a student of, observant of other people. The people that work for me, the people that I work with, the people that I work for, my people at home. I am aware, I am attuned, I am alert to what I'm seeing in their behaviors, and I understand what those behaviors mean in terms of how the persons are feeling. And because of my social awareness and my self-awareness, I'm able to notice when I'm not communicating, when I'm not connecting well. And then the third element is just around motivation. I understand what is motivating to me. I understand the things that are that are energizing for me and the things that are not. And I use that awareness to put myself in situations where I'm going to be more successful. And I use that awareness to minimize some obstacles that could make me less successful. And that includes in how we deal with people and how we deal with conflict.